Hey guys, I'm doing a tutorial. Can you be quiet, please? Thanks. The first one's a good one. All right, that was my question. Thanks for answering. Okay, so on my project, oh my gosh, Terry, do I have to relive this again? Anyways, some of these skills you might want to implement. We're gonna learn in this tutorial. You might want to implement with your other projects. So I'm gonna make another one, another sequence. If you don't know how to make another sequence, it's File, New, Sequence, or you can press Command N, and you'll get a new sequence in your timeline. And in this case, I'm just gonna bring this straight into my timeline. I'm not gonna bring it into the source bin. You can if you like to. Let's play this through. I don't know what the hell that was. Now, guys, the audio quality sounds pretty low. Is there a reason for that? Or maybe my speaker? No, my speakers are set up pretty good. Anyways, it sounds pretty low, but that's pretty. That's good. I can teach you how to edit the audio on this one. Okay, that was pretty poor, guys. I won't lie to you. The focusing was bad, and wow. Now, did you guys think that, oh, we can just unblur it in Premiere or After Effects? Because you can't. You can't unblur. You can blur, but you can't unblur. You can't sharpen things. You can, but not to help save this. This is yeah, it's gonna be hard to save. Anyways, let's just move on and show you some cool stuff to fix up audio and such. So to adjust audio, guys, I'm just gonna focus in on here, and you can see that the clip has waveforms, and you can increase the audio a few ways. Let me show you. You can right click on it and say audio gain, and then you can increase the decibel level by so and so. So if you click on it, you can increase the decibel level, and it's trial and error. If you're trying wondering, well, what's the right number? Well, if it's really low, you might want to increase a bit more. So just by increasing the audio, okay, this is brutal. But anyways, now I'm gonna Command Z and go back a step, and that increased the volume a bit. Okay. So another way to adjust audio is if you go to your audio mixer. If you want to see this thing right here, looks complicated, but it's not really. All it's saying is on audio one, if you wanted to increase the volume on audio one, you can jack it up this way as well. Okay, so okay. Now, if you wanted to bring music and you wanted the music to be low, like not as intense as the layer on audio one, bring the music on audio 2, then you would drop down audio 2. Does that make sense? You guys get that? So the audio mixer is, say again? Audio mixer, if you need to go to window and audio mixer, and this will pop up for that mixer. So audio 1, 2, 3, and there's a master as well. So there's the overall master. And that should be set at 0, but I have 8 tracks of audio here. I don't need that. I'm going to right click, delete tracks, and say delete any empty audio tracks. So my interface doesn't have 8. So there's really only 2, the master and audio 1. If I brought another layer, right click, add a track, and say I want to add 1 audio track and 0 video, it'll bring another audio track. You can bring in a song and MP3. Do you guys want to show like bring an MP3 to show you that? All right. So what background music do you want? The way you guys probably download, you probably go to YouTube. My house. Uh, don't ask. I don't know what I'm watching here. Blunted beats. Yeah, that sounds appropriate. Yeah. It's just. It's actually all right. Uh, I'm hearing on my headphones. Sorry, guys. It's pretty good. So then I'm gonna go to yeah. Tube MP3. Whoa. There it is. All right, I'm gonna paste my URL in there, convert the video, download it. Let me put it into roll one, suite. Go back to Premiere. Go to my project bin. I'll go into Focus Blur and import it in there. Okay. Drag it into Audio 2. Oops, sorry. Okay. And what I'll do for Audio 2 is I'll drop down the decibel level so it's not so loud. All right, so if you need to trim the audio, guys, you can trim audio very simply. Um, so say there's a part of the beat where you want to bring in. I'm going to grab a cut tool, cut right here. And here, let me just bring my interface up a little higher so you can see what's going on. Now remember, guys, your timeline, if the song's this long, it's going to export the whole thing, right? So make sure you're trimming your audio to where you want it. And I'm going to go to my mark in, my previous edit point. Now, if you don't have these points, guys, remember you can add these cool button editors by clicking this button and add them on afterwards. This is Premiere. Yeah, I'm going to press C for cut, V for selection, delete the other part. And there's some cool audio effects. If you want to do a simple transition like a crossfade, I can use exponential fade. I'll drop that in. And this will fade the audio. And if you click on it, you can extract that part and add more of a fade. So let me just mute this audio. Can you hear that beat or no? No? Maybe I brought it down too much. Do you guys hear it? Is it? Maybe. And see how it fades, guys? Now, another way of fading. Hey, guys, Terry, can you go outside? I hear you, and you're interrupting my tutorial. Just go outside. You can watch the video afterwards. Wiley, can you watch your seat, please? So I'm deleting the fade, and it's no longer there. So other ways to fade music. So you can drop and drag a fade, a constant power, constant gain. That does the same thing. And just to show that again, you can double click on it, and you'll pop up over here. And you can play with the parameters. You can increase the fade by just stretching it out. You can click it on here too, and just stretch it out as well. So if you want a nice long fade, the longer it is, the slower it will drop the decibel level to 0. Okay. Um, delete that if you want to animate the audio, click on the audio aspect of it, and you can actually animate the same way you would do in After Effects. So I'll drop down volume. If I want to activate a stopwatch and put a keyframe point here, and then say move my timeline a few frames out that way, add another keyframe point, but tell the computer at this point I want to reduce the decibel level to a very low number. You'll notice here, guys, do you see how it's ramping? Very similar to what the time remap did, where you can actually ramp the speed of video. You can actually reduce the sound. So it's going to be at a higher decibel level and slowly reduced. Now, if you want the audio to go up and down, say there's a swear word and you wanted to drop down the volume, bring it back up again, what would you do here? Yeah, bring multiple keyframes. Okay, so you would bring a keyframe down, another one, and another one back up, and you can actually animate the sound to go down and back up again. Okay, so to do that, just move your timeline cursor to where you want it, add a keyframe. So here I would want this to be low, maybe a few frames afterwards, and then add another keyframe. I'll bring it back up again. Or you can just type in 0. And you'll see over here, there's a kind of a valley, a dip. Okay, and so it's like a little fade. If you have a swear word in your song, that's something you might want to consider. Or you add 4 keyframes where it's a bit faster. So I'll add a keyframe here too. There's many ways to add keyframes. Bring that down. And here, you can just manually do it if you don't like numerically typing in. So I have 4 keyframes here. One that starts it off, brings it down, down, and back up again. So it would sound like this. Okay, if you want it faster, just bring the keyframes in closer. Okay, so that's a visual way of doing it. And guys, this gets all translated. As I'm changing it up here, it changes up here as well. And I'll zoom in, you can see that. So if you want a bit more precision, maybe this timeline is a bit better for you to do that. Okay, so longer, further apart, quicker, closer together. Does that make sense? Okay, so anyways, that depends on your audio situation, increasing the audio levels. And I did show you guys the effects with the correction. I'll show you again with the video effects. If you want to adjust and play with the color, with the levels, like say you wanted this to be a bit brighter, I'll click and drag this into your timeline. Then you can play, you'll see the video footage will increase the lightness. And I'll show you that. Okay, so if you want to play with the parameters, you can play with some of the effects. If you're not happy with the color or lighting of your production, you might want to use one of these effects. If you don't like it, you can click on it and delete it. So I'm just going back here to my effects bin. Let's play with shadow and highlight. Actually, that one, not a big fan of. Sorry, let me change that one. If you wanted to blur something, you could. Now remember, anything here is pretty much time animatable. So if I wanted to animate the blurriness, like make this super blurry, and then maybe a few frames later, add a keyframe and put it back to 0, it'll animate those frames right away. So blur it, it'll exaggerate the blur, and then slowly come into. Now you're probably wondering, sir, why do we even bother doing the focus blur? Well, you got to show me your ability to use the camera. You can mimic this blur in After Effects or Premiere. Can you sharpen things? Yes, but it's not going to save your production. Okay. So guys, with these effects bins, just play around. If you go to King, Imaging, if you want to make it black and white, drop it in there. Okay. Hello. Just 1 second. And that's it, guys. There's so much other effects and you can grab. You can just click and drag and play with them under the effects controls bin and play with the parameters. Okay?